which are entirely distinct from the spell system, in that you don't have to go around and buy spell tomes from people and learn all these crazy spells and increase your magicka upon every level up to use dragon shouts. You just have to find words. So the first thing I need to do is actually travel to a dragon location. Now dragons will they will roam the world. They will attack in the middle of a quest. They will attack when you're just wandering around the wilderness, but they also guard specific spots. And I'm on my way to a word wall, which is basically it's part of how you learn shouts, because every shout in the game is made up of 3 different words. And if you find a word wall that you haven't found yet, you can learn a word off of it. And then to activate the word, well, this is actually a cool system, because to activate the word, you need a dragon soul, which means you need to kill the dragon to absorb the soul.
Of course.
So fighting the dragons is always rewarding, because you get that upgraded soul, which I can actually, instead of just talking about it, I can show you right now. So I go to my magic menu, shouts. I have all these shouts unlocked. You'll see some have 3 words all highlighted. You'll see some have words that aren't highlighted. And in this case, I have 9 spare dragon souls just sitting around, so I can unlock disarm if I want to, which, as the description says, it'll rip the weapon out of an opponent's grasp. That's not really going to help me against a dragon, so I'm not going to use that right now. I do have slow time, which is kind of an interesting one, so I'm going to equip that. You can have 1 active at a time, and then they're on a global cooldown, so you can't spam them or anything like that.
And these don't use mana or magicka. They use they just have the cooldown.
Yeah,
there's no resource associated.
Yeah, you do not. So even if you're playing someone who's never concentrated on magic whatsoever and has never increased magicka, you can still use these pretty effectively.
Now,
so,
are they tied to a school of magic? So will they give you skill ups in anything?
No, there's no skill ups associated with them. It's just once you've learned the shout, you can use it. And actually, you know what? I'm going to bring in a different guy, because the Storm Atronach is ranged. So he's going to hang around and shoot lightning. You see, he's not very happy.
Very whirly.
Not very happy with the state of things right now. I'm also going to put on some armor so that I don't get one-shotted by this dragon. I have killed this dragon a few times. He just keeps respawning here every time I fast travel back, so he may not actually give me a soul, but we'll see. I'm going to do 2 fireballs and see what happens here.
Now he's annoyed.
So he has noticed that I'm here and will float around, and then usually they make a pass and will hover in the air or something and blast fire or frost at me. Looks like that's what he's going to do. Shoot a fireball at him. I actually have a stagger effect if I dual cast, which is nice for interrupting. Let's see if he actually lands. Okay, yeah, now he's on the ground. Really big character model there.
Yeah, he's
really impressive.
Not small.
But he's going down pretty quickly. And I guess before I kill him entirely, I'm going to use this slow time shout, which if he wasn't shooting frost at me, you can see a little more clearly. But yeah, it just basically slows all the time. Maybe they slow down there. And I almost died, but I managed to make it. I'm actually going to bust out some restoration magic, which I also have a dual cast on my healing spell, so I can restore my health really quickly. And I have so much magicka that it doesn't really cost all that much.
So these dragon bones and dragon scales they can be used for some of the crafting, which you don't do.
Yeah, which this character does not do, but there is the end line here. I can show that real quick. The end line skill in the smithing tree, which is, hopefully I won't miss it. You see there are a lot of different things you can put points into. So here we go. I haven't invested with this character. Another character I have in the smithing line, and this one I have not. Daedric smithing and then dragon armor. I have no idea how good that is. I'm assuming it's pretty good, considering it's
probably pretty decent.
The end line talent for smithing. The word wall here, you see there are little inscriptions all over the wall. So you just walk up to this. One of them lights up, and then you just stand there until you learn the word, which is pretty cool. You also learn a lot of shouts through the story critical stuff, so I would definitely recommend taking on the main campaign.
Ooh,
Spectral
what are
arrows.
those?
Maybe that's left over from a previous fight I had here. I don't know. Unless my storm
Maybe
guy was actually shooting arrows. Another shout that I use pretty frequently, it's sort of the baseline shout in the game, is Unrelenting Force, which basically just shoots out a giant shockwave. And at level, if you only have 1 word unlocked, it just basically staggers an enemy. But if you have all 3 words unlocked in the shout, it will knock enemies flying all over the place. Associated with that is a longer cooldown, so I can't use any other shout for a longer time, but it's worth it, especially if you're surrounded by a bunch of guys. You can knock them all flying all over the place, and then follow it up with an area of effect fireball or something like. Oh, here we go. Here's some ice wolves. There is the full level shout, and then I'm using a healing spell, which isn't really going to do much of anything.
You can heal them to death.
Yes, I can over heal them. That's always uncomfortable. Let's see. Let's go Wall of Flames. And that actually doesn't do as much damage as I was hoping it would. But it's also dual casted and creates quite the blanket of fire. Now, oh crap! I have no armor, so hopefully he dies soon. Nope.
Probably just, I think he ran away. Oh, no, he's coming back for the kill.
He's over there. So I'm going to do this and hope that works. There he goes. And he's
Bye!
Physics system.
Oh, no.
No, I stopped. I could pull a pelt off him, but I'm not going to. So I'm just going to go to a major township just so you can see how that works too.
Why don't you go to Whiterun, Charles?
I will go to Whiterun. Go right in here. Just fast travel directly to the city. Well, I haven't been to this place yet. So yeah, in addition to the main storyline stuff, you also get Daedric quests in Skyrim, which are always fun because you're basically dealing with the demons of the world, the evil people, and their requests are much different from what a normal resident of Skyrim might request.
They're always my favorite quests in Elder Scrolls games. I haven't found any in my very brief encounter with Skyrim, but I am definitely going to be chasing them down.
Without spoiling anything, here's random courier trying to get me to do something. I will definitely say that. Oh, and I mean this. Well, I can show a bit of this later, but you'll notice that time does not pause when you're in conversation. You can look around. Things still happen around you. I think it makes the game look a lot more natural. It's definitely an improved conversation system, even though there's no Pie Wedge influence game.
Oh,
unfortunately,
no.
for everyone who is all into that conversation game, that is no longer in the game. But
how am I going to intimidate and then have a joke with someone?
You can still intimidate people. You can persuade them, bribe them. It just happens right through the conversation menu. There's no separate little mini game. So this game looks really good. Don't know if you've noticed that yet, but also this fog or mist, or snow, or whatever you want to call it, that is wreathed on the mountains here, is moving. That's not static, which is a really cool effect for heading out into new areas and just always seeing that in the background. A lot more environment types in Skyrim than Oblivion. Just a lot more varied terrain, even though a lot of it is snowy. There's a lot more to see, and
the mountains are much more mountainous than any Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah,
rather than
they
just
look like
lumpy
mountains.
land.
They look just like mountains, and you can hop up there. And there are, I mean, I'm sure on. I don't think that's the throat of the world. Maybe it is, because that's right around here.
There are some gigantic mountains.
But there are things all over the mountains to actually find. And I'm going into Breezeholm, which is a house I purchased in Whiterun. So this is my.
Oh, look at this rich landowner.
Yeah, this is
bragging.
My property. The house here was actually fairly cheap compared to somewhere in Windhelm, which is another city where it was not cheap whatsoever. But I can go in. There's storage spaces here where I can keep my extra items. I have my own alchemy table that I can use to make potions. Let's see. I can put books on these bookshelves if I wanted to. I can put weapons in the weapon rack. For no particular reason other than to make my house that only I will see look better. I have a bed if I want to go to sleep, and there's actually a resting bonus associated with sleeping. But basically, I want to come in here to find where the heck is Lydia. Oh, here she is. So Lydia is my house carl, which is basically because Whiterun likes me because I was nice to them. But I can ask her to follow me, which she will say yes to, and then she will follow me around. And come on, we're gone. Okay.
She will take her time.
She will be leisurely about following me around. But yeah, she'll assist me in battle. I can give her things. I can direct her around the environment to do stuff. And there's associated personality with every follower you get. There are a lot of followers to get. A lot of people, if you do the miscellaneous quests, they will then say, "Hey, my services are at your disposal." Yeah, so you can trade stuff. I can talk to her. Where is... I need you to do something. So that brings up this interface where I can tell her to, move, do it, which she will, or, go over here and use, or, wait, use that grindstone for no reason. Yeah, it's kind of neat. I mean, it's no like BioWare type follower system.
How complex does it get? Can you tell her to rob someone?
Let me check. Oh, she seems. Oh, because I readied my sword, so she got a little.
All right. What is it?
If you were to target someone, you can.
That's attack.
Attack. Still attack. Okay.
Yeah.
So probably just attack.
I'm not gonna have her attack that guy. That guy's fine. I'm trying to be nice to this town. But yeah, in general, I mean,
more load screens.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, once you start fast traveling around a lot, the load screens really start to stack up. But I mean, what I've shown so far is only a very small part of Skyrim. You do have the standard looking, dank ruinous dungeons, but there are also Dwemer ruins all over the place. Mm-hmm. Which, if you're not familiar with Elder Scrolls lore, they are dwarves who built a whole bunch of ruins that are actually gone. They're not in the world anymore. So people are excavating them to figure out how they managed to do things so well.
Yeah, they were sort of the technological masters of their time, and then somehow they just mysteriously got wiped off the face of the planet.
Yeah, this is a camp. So these are, I believe these are the Stormcloaks.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a Stormcloak camp. This is part of the Civil War quest line, because not only is Skyrim getting attacked by dragons, it's also sort of attacking itself. So there's a lot of conflict going on across the entire countryside. The one thing I haven't actually tried to do yet is walk across the entire landmass, which I think would take quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
It looks like Markath here is pretty
Set
much
aside
the
a day or
furthest.
two.
And then walking across all this area around, I guess maybe you can go under or across those mountains all the way down here to Riften. That is going to take a really long time. Huge landmass, lots of content.
Which is what we're going to do right now.
Yeah.
So go get some food, go to the bathroom. I'm kidding.
Yeah, this is going to be a 3-hour video. But yeah, it's such a good game. It's such a nice change, like not only for Elder Scrolls and how they've simplified stuff and how I no longer, like if I'm jumping, whoops.
Now,
if I'm jumping, like I'm not increasing an acrobatic skill. There is no oh, there you go. Random, there's a dragon. That's how they roll. They just come on in. They don't care. Dragons don't care. Oop, Nirnroot. There's so much to find that even if you're randomly walking around, if you don't even decide to do any of the structured content, you're still going to find tons of stuff that keeps it entertaining. And what I'm just trying to do here is just level up so that I can show off what happens, but nothing seems to want to
attack you.
Fight me for long enough, and my destruction skill is so high. Destruction is not at 100 right now, but it's...
Should use a sword or something.
Yeah, I guess I could. I could conjure a sword or something like that. One spell that is kind of spammy that you can use to level up fairly frequently is Muffle. This is an illusion spell, quiets your footsteps. But you can get this up to 100 pretty quickly. This is just an example of how amazing this game can look at times. This is Solitude that extends out sort of into the northern sea here that's frozen, which sits under a swamp. You see ships all over the place, and compared to where I just was, it gives a nice sense of how the environment types transition into one another. It's not just an abrupt type of thing. It's all fairly natural. And yeah, you get amazing scenes like this, which on Xbox look really good. I don't know if this is going to manage to do it.
Now, I'm curious, how is the user interface on this? As a PC player, I was finding it a little cumbersome, just because it felt like it was very clearly built for, whoa, what is going on there?
I should not have done that, but it is pretty interesting when you come across enemies in the environment just fighting each other. That happens actually quite a bit. Things will just go on as if
after you.
Yeah, as if they're just existing in their own space, as opposed to waiting for you to show up so they can do things. It really feels like, everything exists on its own. Like it was there before you showed up and will continue to be there afterward, unless of course you kill it. The interface, I think, it works pretty well. Considering the sheer amount of powers that you have in this game, the favorites menu here is a good solution that lets you assign a whole bunch of stuff so you don't feel limited in that respect, like it's all there, and you don't have to page through multiple menus to get access to it. So it's not like I have to do this, open my magic menu, go, page through this whole thing and figure out what I want. I can just put the most important stuff down here.
It does seem like it's built to be about as efficient as possible for a console.
Yeah, I mean the button layout and everything, it works well. And the one thing I haven't talked about, there is a third-person mode in this game again, and it seems much more viable. It is much more viable this time around than it was in Oblivion. Right now, the cursor is centered, but if I were to sort of deactivate my spells, I have my spells at the ready here. Then it does this sort of over-the-shoulder thing.
You can pretend you're playing Gears of War.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, this just
in the forest.
It makes it a lot. Torch bug. Makes it a lot easier to control and use, and it feels like this mode was a lot more well thought out this time around. I still prefer playing in first person, just because I like the first person perspective, and also because Bethesda went through all this trouble of putting these crazy magic effects on everything, and I would. This is bad.
Ooh. Should probably put on that armor spell.
Yeah. And I like looking at that stuff, and like if I were to call a sword into existence here, just the weapon models are so detailed. The one thing you do lose is you don't see your armor, obviously, if you're in first person, but I'm pretty okay with that. Although some of the heavy armor looks excellent.
Yes.
So one thing I'm just going to do, and Bethesda has shown this off before the game came out, anyway, so don't consider this too spoilery. I'm going to call a dragon. So this is a shout that you get way late in the game. I'm not going to explain anything about the context, but it will call a dragon in, which hopefully I can last long enough. Let me actually put up some armor so
That's a good idea.
So that if these guys do get a hit in, I don't get destroyed. I should have a friendly dragon. There he is, showing up at some point, who is going to nosedive. I mean, hopefully he comes back and actually attacks those spiders. That's really what I'm hoping for.
There he comes.
Okay. That did some damage.
That works.
Yeah, that's fine. Do that. He's not gonna hit me with his armor spell up, so I'm just gonna kill him. Yeah, but that's a pretty nice option to be like, this looks a little challenging, and then you're just, oh well, I might as well call him a dragon. That's a little better than summoning an individual creature or a smaller land-based creature, I suppose.
Like a wolf.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have a wolf summon.
Ah.
He just hangs out for a while. So if I were to level up, which I'm not going to bother with, yeah, I would increase magicka, health, or stamina, and then, yeah, be able to put in any of these perks, which I'm going to do at random right now. You'll notice my illusion level is fully maxed out.
But you don't have any points in it.
No, I haven't put any points in here. Yeah, like this is, I need 90, and I guess this is the maximum level one. These are also effective for magic spells because you can actually cast with half magicka. So yeah, you just put them in, and then it becomes a permanent decision once you apply the bonus. So I can just go all the way up here, and then
you're going to be able to cast so many spells for so cheap.
All of these spells will be much cheaper to use, and I still have 2 perks left over. But yeah, that's an overview of how Skyrim works on Xbox 360. Yeah, hopefully everyone's enjoying it. It's one of the best role-playing games I've ever played, I think. I didn't show a lot of the story stuff here, but aside from a few bugs and some awkwardness with some of the group encounters when you have multiple characters in the same space.
Yeah, typical Elder Scrolls pathing, basically.
Yeah, the pathing through the environment can be a little awkward, and by little I mean usually awkward.
Yes.
But yeah, it's an excellent game. If you haven't picked it up already, you should do so immediately.